Still a few people that we're waiting on, but we're going to go ahead and get started. I don't want to make everyone wait too much longer. Just some instructions before we begin. You can participate in the webinar either by using your computer, microphone, and speakers, or dialing in by telephone. You can change that setting in the GoToWebinar software, which is likely in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. If you expand that by clicking on the arrow, there's an audio section. You can choose either computer mic and speakers or telephone. So the way that we handle this is normally we'll present, and at the end we'll open it up to a question and answer session, a live question and answer session. Since we have a lot of people logged in today, we're going to keep everyone muted during the presentation. If you have any questions during the presentation, feel free to type them in to the chat panel or the questions panel, and Becca will be logged in and she'll answer any questions that you have while Kimberly and myself are presenting. At the end, if you would like to speak to the group, there is a button that says raise hand. If you click on that, I'll know to unmute you, and you can ask a question to the group. So that's how we'll handle it at the Q&A portion of the webinar. So today's webinar, we're going to be talking about all of our training options from ZoomText University, our certification program, and our free webinars, which you are participating in right now. My name is Derek Bovey. I work here as our technical product manager, and I'm going to be joined today on the webinar by our regional channel manager, Kimberly Klein. Kimberly, go ahead and say hello to the group.
Good morning, everyone.
Kimberly is going to be talking about our ZoomText University offerings, so I'm going to pass it over to her in just a couple minutes here. So here's what we're going to cover. First thing we'll talk about is our live training opportunities with ZoomText University. Then we'll get into our certification program, which we just launched a few weeks ago now, and then talk a little bit about our webinar offerings and where you can find things on our website. But before we start talking about these training programs, one thing we are going to do today, please make sure you stay until the end of the webinar. At the end today, we're going to be raffling off a free certification test. We'll talk about the 2 levels of certification later, but if you stay till the end, we're just going to randomly give one away so you can decide which certification test you want to take. So please make sure to stay until the end. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass things over to Kimberly, and Kimberly, you can go ahead and tell everyone about ZoomText University.
All right. Well, good morning. Derek, is my voice coming through too loud, too soft, or is everything okay?
Sounds just about right to me.
Okay, thanks. And you're taping this morning, correct?
Yep, this webinar will be recorded, so you can find it on our website later if you'd like to watch it, or for those that may have missed it.
Okay, great. Well, good morning, everyone. As Derek said, I'm Kimberly Klein, and I'm really glad and excited to be here to talk about ZoomText University this morning. ZoomText University officially launched the beginning of this year. We had our first class in February, and we actually have someone that's going to be speaking live today that was in that class that wanted to share a testimonial. But the class has grown, and we've got it in a lot more areas, and we'll be going through everything that has to do with ZoomText University, and of course we'll open it up at the end for questions as well. But we're thrilled to be offering ZoomText University in all 50 states as well as Canada, and we've actually had some interest in Canada. I had a gentleman the other day contact me from Israel, actually, about ZoomText University, so we will possibly be expanding our borders on that. Each ZoomText University course consists of 2 full days of training. So we start each day at 9 and we go till 4, so they're very action-packed days. Of course, we do give you some short breaks in the morning and afternoon, and then we provide you an hour break for lunch for a couple reasons. You know, a lot of people coming through have businesses and they work and things like that, so you need to return phone calls or emails, but it's also nice to take some time to get to know the other people in the class and enjoy a lunch break. And we do provide lunch for you, and if you do have special diets, such as, you know, you need vegetarian or whatever, we're pleased to accommodate that. So we're really glad, and that seems to work out really well. All right, Derek, you want to go to the next slide?
There you go.
Thanks. Basically, a lot of people have been asking about the class size. I've had people contact me from all over and say, hey, I want a class in our area. I always just say have 5 people in a training room, and that's a class for me. So our class size starts out with 5. We have to have a minimum of 5 people and a maximum of 10. We do close the registration about 5 days prior because we ship everything from our home office, our certificates and everything like that. I mean, obviously, if you called me a couple days before and there's an opening in the class, I possibly can still get you in, but all of your training material may not be there. That may be something that has to be shipped separately to you. So if in a minute I'm going to go over where all the classes are located, and if there's not one in your area and you contact me, that's going to be my first thing. I'm going to say, you know, I've got to gauge the area, make sure we have enough interest to have at least 5 people. And right now we do not have training computers that we ship with, so I'm also looking for training locations. We either have them in a facility that has a training lab, or I have another company that's actually renting out a building, letting me come in. And so at this point, when we do that, the computers need to be provided, whether they're your laptop or the computers from the lab. We do have a few computers that we can bring, but not enough to outfit a whole training. That's something that we're looking for as well. We have several authorized trainers. Myself, I'm a trainer. Derek is also a trainer. We have a couple other people out of our office that train. And then we have 2 other authorized trainers that have been certified that are excellent. They're both ZoomText users. They both have a visual impairment themselves and are expert trainers. So we kind of determine who's going to come and do your training depending on where the training is located. And that's how we make that decision. If you do sign up for the training, you will receive a link 1 week prior to the training, which will provide the training curriculum and other class handouts. The reason we don't print them for you is because everyone wants them in different sizes. So the training material already is in large print, and it's over 300 and some pages. It's about 350 pages of material. So we send you a link where you can download that. That way, if you do want to print it, you can print it in whatever size you want. However, most people just pull it up on their computer screen because it's a Word document. And you do have the ability then to use find features. So if you're trying to find out how to change, you know, the mouse pointer or something like that, you have the ability to just use the find feature in Word. So you will have all of those materials that are accessed 1 week prior. And the reason that we do that is that gives you the ability to, you know, pre-look at the material and everything at that point. And I'll go over our cancellation policy in a minute, but the reason we wait till a week before is anyone that were to cancel at that point, you know, you would not get a refund. So that's why we don't send the training curriculum out earlier. The type of programs that we cover during the training, of course, ZoomText. We always run with the latest version of ZoomText. So if you don't have that, that's something you might want to look at getting. We have had some people that have an older version of ZoomText and come and take the training classes, and then, wow, they see everything that ZoomText 10 can do, and then they just go ahead and upgrade right at that point. But, of course, we use ZoomText 10 or whatever the latest version is at that time. Currently, we're training in Microsoft Office 2010, IE9, Firefox, and Windows 7. Eventually, we will look at changing that, and we'll have some classes in the Windows 8 environment, of course, the latest version of Office. Currently, we don't fully support IE10 unless you're using our Windows 8 product, so that's why we've kept the specifications to this. But if somebody were to call me today and say, you know, I want to do a training, but I need it in ZoomText for Windows 8, the Windows 8 environment, IE10, and the latest version of Office, yes, we can put that together, and that's not a problem. But right now, not enough people have upgraded that that's been a demand, so that's why we've stuck with these programs. At the end of the training, you do receive a certificate of completion. Also, you get a really nice ZoomText polo shirt. We just got these in, and they're black, and they're really nice because they're embroidered. They say ZoomText University, class of 2013. Also a training bag, and we also give you some other fun giveaways. The only thing you need to bring for the training is your headphones to use during the training class because of the fact that, again, I'm going to all these different training sites, and some of them have headsets, some of them don't. So you'll want to bring that because, of course, you'll be using the speech with ZoomText, and you want to make sure that you're the only one hearing what you're doing. I've had a couple of cases where husbands and wives have wanted to come together, and that's fine. I encourage that. And if they're not both ZoomText users, what we do is we just use a splitter with the headset, because a lot of times it might be that they're helping each other through the training. One person has the visual impairment and is really needing the ZoomText, and the other one is there just to assist. So when they get home, they can kind of work together as a team, and that's not a problem. I encourage that, and we can make those accommodations whenever needed. So right now we're going to spend a little bit of time and go through the course outline to give you more of an idea of what we cover. I'm kind of just breaking it down into the modules. Each module, of course, has a bunch of different points that we go through, and you can get the complete course outline on our webpage. But module number 1 is Magnification and Speech Basics. And basically, of course, it's what it sounds like. We're going to go through and identify how to adjust the magnification, the different types of Zoom windows, the color enhancement, mouse, cursor, and focus enhancements. And we allow you to personalize those and make them so you want them, show you how to save those over the default settings if you want to do that, or of course you can save them and make them personal just for you, or if you're a trainer, you can set up multiple configurations for different users. We'll be showing you how to do that as well. Module 2 is the introduction to the hotkeys and the basics of Word. Basically, we're making sure that you understand how to use the hotkeys. Everything in ZoomText almost can be accomplished with keystrokes. So in the curriculum, we give you the mouse strokes and the keystrokes to do everything. I'd say about 95–98% of everything in ZoomText can be done with keystrokes. And that's really good because I've been surprised that in all the trainings we've done so far, we've had people literally that need to use keystrokes because we've actually had some folks take the training that have very limited vision or no vision at all for the reason that they're a trainer or an assessor in the lab where they work. And even though they maybe don't use ZoomText, maybe they use a full-blown screen reader, they still need to know how to do an assessment or how to work with people that do use ZoomText. So we make sure that we cover all of those in great detail. Plus, a lot of people are very surprised to find out that Windows itself has a bunch of keystrokes. So we teach those hotkeys, Windows D for desktop, and a lot of the things that you may or may not know. And we really base each time we do a training on the group that we're reaching out to. So if it's very experienced trainers and we don't need to spend a lot of time in one area, we can just go through that area quite quickly and then spend time more in other advanced areas or areas where people have questions. So every class is really tailor-made for the group that we're working with. Module number 3 is magnification tips and reading tools. And again, we talk a little bit more about, how to use the view locator, how to work with Ribbon in Microsoft Office, using App Reader, Doc Reader. And a lot of people know how to use those, but they don't know how to use the very, just all the little intricate details that go along with it, some of the advanced features. Module number 4 is keyboard navigation. And we teach you that you can use the keyboard, again, for spell check. You can use it for comments and track changes, text finder. So just some things you might not know that there are keyboard navigations for. And module number 5 is configuration. And we do spend quite a bit of time how to go in there and change the verbosity how you want it, the mouse echo, the typing echo, and then how to go in and save that as a default configuration, how to restore the default. If let's say you've gone in and messed everything up. I love that when I turn it over to lab time and I say, okay, you just learned how to change and manipulate 10 different areas. Go to town, have fun. Because you can never really mess everything up because you can always bring everything back to the default setting. So you have plenty of time in the class as you learn an actual feature and it's hands-on. Then you practice it. And then we do give you time in lab and say, okay, now you just learned 6 different things. Have fun. Go to town. Practice it. Because I've really found the hands-on learning is the best in all the years I've been a trainer, that you really need to get in and feel like, oh, wow, I didn't just learn that concept. I know how to go do it. And if I mess it up, it's not a big deal. I know how to fix it. So we spend some time with that in Module 5. Module 6 is allowing you to use ZoomText on the web, and of course that's probably one of the most popular modules. We use our web finder, we identify what a form is, how to work with headings and links and controls, again using App Reader and Doc Reader. We will work with, again, IE9, and then we also use Firefox. So we spend some time doing all that. And then later in the class, we incorporate that. At the very end, you actually fill out a class evaluation, and you have to use those tools that you learned earlier. So we incorporate that all within things that you're doing throughout the 2 days. Module 7 is ZoomText Tools, and in there, we want to make sure that you understand background recorder, background recorder, background reader, and also ZoomText camera. So again, these are features only if you have ZoomText 10. If you don't have that, you probably haven't had the opportunity to work with that. And in Module 8, we want to make sure that you know how to use ZoomText with other applications. So we do work with Outlook. We want to make sure that if you have Outlook on your computer, and again, we'll tailor-make this to the group. If we have a group and everybody goes, oh, we don't use Outlook, you know, we're never going to use Outlook, we might only spend 10 or 15 minutes to just teach you a few hotkeys. But we want to make sure that you do understand how to work with email messages. So, you know, are you mainly getting those through Gmail then? You know, how do you read a message once it's opened? How do you navigate and how do you create a new email? So we want to spend some time working with all the applications to make sure that people, when they leave, that they're very comfortable, not just using ZoomText, but using ZoomText in a practical manner and being able to do word processing, being able to do emails, being able to surf the web. And then module number 9, we end up with troubleshooting and Q&A. So we have plenty of time to make sure that people can ask lots of questions throughout, but this is a specific time to say, hey, here's all these areas we went over. Do you understand them? And you will be verbally quizzed throughout the 2 days, and we'll make sure that you're following along. And we want to make sure that you have enough time to ask questions. But we also go through some troubleshooting, because I'm sure all of you that's been out there that have been using ZoomText for years maybe have ran into a problem. I mean, I know our software is great, but maybe you ran into a problem or two with an installation, or maybe you're trying to use it with Kurzweil and the voices. You're having some problems with the voices, or you're trying to use it with Adobe. So we do spend some time troubleshooting. We give you a troubleshooting guide, and we want to make sure that you're very, very comfortable with all those troubleshooting types of things. Throughout the 2 days, we also spend some time, and again, we measure the group. If it's a group that really says, wow, I want to hear more about ZoomText Mac, we show every group about ZoomText Mac, which we're excited about, which released in January, which is our ZoomText that works on the Mac side. So I do bring a Mac computer, and we do show that off. But if you really have more questions or want to see a little bit more, and there is time, we'll spend more time on that as well. And then also, of course, our very exciting product, Image Reader. That's our OCR product that released at the beginning of the year as well. And we will show that product off and allow you to use it. And spend some time with the ZoomText keyboard. Some labs are totally outfitted with the keyboards, and I always make sure that I have one with me to show it off and show the functions of the keyboard, and also the ZoomText camera. So we basically really show you all the ins and outs of ZoomText, and then how the practical applications are of using ZoomText within other applications. Again, if you want a full description of the course outline, you can go to our really new, exciting, updated webpage, which is aisquared.com/learning, and then there's more ZoomText University outline. So you can check that out for all the details of what's covered for the 2 days of training. We have an exciting class schedule coming up. We've got quite a few trainings we've already done this year. When I started this program, my goal was to try to do 12 trainings this year, and we've already going to exceed that by the end of the year. But our next class is coming up August 7th and 8th, and I'm teaching that class, and that's in Orange County, California. We have 7 people in that class right now. It is a big lab. It holds up to 10 people, so we do have a few openings left. But again, your training curriculum might not get sent, but we could see what we could do to get that out to you. So that's an exciting class. And then in September 5th and 6th, we have a class in Tampa, Florida, and we have one of our certified trainers going to be doing that particular class. And I think right now we have 4 in that class, and that'll be an exciting one as well. And then September 24th and 25th, we're in Portland, Oregon, and I'll be training that one as well. We've got a couple people registered for that. I do Portland. That was our very first class. We did a class in Oregon in February, and it was full. So I'm excited to come back to the Oregon area again. Those classes always get really, really full up there. October 10th and 11th, we have a class in Chicago, Illinois. Right now it's still open. October 16th to 17th, we'll be in Littleton, Colorado. And that class just got posted. We had it originally slotted for in the summer, but I had a lot of teachers ask me to postpone that to later in the year. So we're excited to make that change. And so that'll be in the Littleton area. So if you're in the Denver area, Colorado Springs, any of those areas, that's not too far. October 17th and 18th, we'll be in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm excited about that. We've got a few people that are contacting me about that particular class, so there's some excitement built. And we'll actually be in Louisiana for an entire week. October 29th and 30th, we've been requested to be in New Orleans, and October 31st, even though it is Halloween, and November 1st, we'll be in Baton Rouge. So we're excited about that as well. So those are the trainings that I currently have. I've had a few people contact me with some other outside areas that I'm working with right now. So keep an eye. Becca is really good about posting new trainings as they come up and getting that information out, because as we have enough people contact me, if I get enough interest, 2 or 3 people from an area and I can find a training location, we'll post it and see if we can fill the training. So again, for setting up a training near you, please contact me at aklein@ai2 or you'll have my phone number at the end. Feel free to contact me anytime via phone. My goal is to set up as many trainings as we have interest. We do have some student testimonials. Again, I've got a couple students on live this morning that want to share some as well, but I wanted to share some of the ones that have come in. I'm really glad we spent a lot of time on this training curriculum and course outline to make sure that it was very well organized. Actually, the person that's one of the certified trainers wrote the curriculum. Some of you may know him. It's Jeremy Curry, and he is a user of the software, and he also has written curriculum and done a lot of training over the years. So a lot of time and effort went into the training material and keeping it very organized when somebody comes in, what they would need to learn first and how to move through that. So it was really, really good. And I thought it was cute. The person said, yeah, lunch was great too. So again, it's just really nice that we're able to provide lunch for you, and that's just something we throw into the class. Another person said they really like the customization of ZoomText and the ease of it. And, you know, I think that's probably one of the biggest ahas that people take from the training, because they come in and go, oh, we know ZoomText. And that's kind of my joke. I'm like, you think you know ZoomText? Well, think again. Yes, of course you know how to change the size and the color and a few things. But when you can see how you can really customize it for yourself, or if you're a trainer for each of your students, I see those light bulbs go on, and I see people go, wow, I wish I knew 5 years ago it could do this, or is this a brand new feature? And it's fun to say, no, it's been there for a long time. It's just you didn't know about it. So that's some of the exciting things that people learn. They love the ability, of course, to not only magnify text on the screen, but the speech, the text, the keyboard, the background, the contrast changes. When you get everything working for you, it's almost like, wow, I can really see that now, or I'm not struggling to use this. You know, ZoomText was made so to even the playing field, to make it to where you can use the computer better or as good as your sighted counterpart. And so that's the exciting thing. You know, I always tell people I have 20/20 vision when I wear my glasses, but when I am trying to proofread something and somebody's not here, that's when I throw in an app reader or doc reader, because, you know, when you hear what you wrote, it's a lot different than when you're trying to read what you wrote. So you should have all of the tools that you need. You just need to know how to use them effectively. Another person came in and they had ZoomText 9, and they thought they weren't going to upgrade till they saw that ZoomText 10 was so feature-packed that they actually bought ZoomText 10 on the spot. So it was really cool to see their excitement. You know, you can tell people about these features, but when they see them and they can learn that they can apply them and use them, that makes all the difference in the world. So we were excited to have that happen. of course, they said it was well worth the time and the cost. You know, our goal when we created these training classes was not to generate an income. I mean, it really wasn't. It was to get out there and be able to share with folks all the wonderful things that ZoomText can do. So we try to keep the class size down, and we try to keep it affordable for everyone that wants to attend. Our goal when we get there is to just be there, to be present with you, to make it a very enjoyable experience. And we're just basically trying to break even. It needs to try to pay for our costs to get us there and stay for the 2 days of training. Actually, it takes us 3 days. We fly in a day before, set up everything, make sure everything's ready to go. And but you know, we do try to really keep the cost down, and that is our goal. We always, of course, have great trainers that are knowledgeable and well prepared and ready to go. And again, we had somebody came in that was a 9.1 user, and they felt very comfortable using ZoomText 10 when they left. A lot of people really get excited about the keyboard shortcuts after they learn them, and the ability to create different profiles for different applications. So if you're in Word and you need something set up totally differently than when you're on the Internet, you can do that. You just need to learn how to set that up, and that's something that we do teach in the class. So we have a lot of people that are excited to learn about that as well.
Kimberly, did you want to have the folks that are logged in now offer up some testimony? You want me to unmute them and let them speak for a couple minutes?
That'd be great.
Okay.
So I think Tiffany is on, and Andrea. We'll go ahead and let Tiffany go first. Tiffany lives in California, and she actually lives in Northern California but couldn't make it to our training there. Came up to Southern California to the same place that I'm doing the training next week in August at Braille Institute in Anaheim. And Tiffany Minaj was a great student. She not only uses the product herself, but she also works with it at the college. So I'll let her take it away and share what she wants to share.
Tiffany, just a note here. It looks like you're logged in by telephone, so you have to enter in an audio pin so I can unmute you. So if you can just hit #125# on your phone, then I'll go ahead and unmute you. And let's see.
Well, while he's doing that, we could have Andrea go first, because I think Andrea's on live. Andrea, I'm very excited to have her on. Andrea was in our very first class that Derek and I did, and we were learning as we were teaching. Not that we didn't know ZoomText, but this was our first training, and this group taught us some things, and we actually didn't even have the curriculum complete. I had to send it to them afterwards. And Andrea has been great. She's been a real support for this program. And I'm looking at launching a mentoring program, which I'll talk briefly about at the end of this. And Andrea is going to be one of our mentors as well. So Andrea, take it away.
Go ahead, Andrea.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm Andrea. I'm up in Oregon, and I actually drove about an hour to an hour and a half to get to the location every day and back. I didn't stay in the area. So, but the trainers were great. I'm a visually impaired person, but they catered to everybody's needs, and they made sure when you went in there that you had everything you needed. I mean, I had only been using ZoomText for maybe a couple weeks at the trial version for the very first time, and I didn't feel like I was behind. They were so great in trying to get you to know everything, and every level of knowledge was there. And no questions were stupid. If you had a question, they didn't act like you were stupid and they weren't going to answer your question. They were just amazing people. All of them were.
Excellent. Well, thank you. She's talking about Derek and I, so I'll shine my halo now, Derek, and you can bow down. Well, you know, it was a great group. We had people from everywhere in that group. We had a gentleman come up from Alaska for that training, and he actually was really a push for making this training happen. He kept contacting me and saying, I know you're going to get this off the ground. I'll come in from Alaska. So it was a really great group, Andrea, and it was so great to have you part of it. And like I said, Andrea's been a great support for us and just a real encouragement. So thank you so much for taking the time to do that. And is Tiffany live now, Derek?
It doesn't look like it. I don't know if she's having issues or whatnot, but yeah, you have to. Tiffany, if you can hear us, if you can just hit #125# on your phone, that will allow me to unmute you. While we're waiting on that, one thing I wanted to mention just as an aside, I mean, if you look at where some of these trainings are located, for those of you that have to travel, they're located in areas with a lot of destinations, a lot of things to do. So, certainly if you're interested in going to our training, take the opportunity to do some sightseeing while you're at these locations as well. Portland is a very pretty area of the country. I had never been there prior to February, and very interesting and cool place to go with a lot of stuff to do.
Absolutely. Well, while we're waiting for her to get on live, let's go on to the next slide.
Sure.
So what we want to do is, I'm going to run a special as well, a little bit different than Derek's, but again, unlike other training costs, my husband and I have been in the technical industry for years, and I know he's had to go and get licensed and all different things, and a lot of those classes cost about $1,000 a day even. Ours is $399 per student for both days, and that includes everything. That's your curriculum, that's your lunch. Again, we provide everything. I've even had some people that didn't have a headset. I always bring a couple extra pairs with me. So, really all you need to do is, I always tell people, if you show up and just all your requirement is to get good rest the night before, because you're going to be tired when you leave there because it's a lot of material. We do accept most major credit cards, checks, money orders, and all state authorizations. So people ask me, will my counselor pay for this? Every state is different. So there's a couple ways to register. You can call me direct and get registered, or you can do it online, and we're going to show you that in just a minute as well. But we do try to take every form of payment. And if you're going to, if you say, well, I want to register, but I don't have the money yet, my recommendation is to contact me, have me register you, and put it in as like a check or a purchase order or something to save your spot in the class. So we're not like, oh my gosh, if you don't pay me today, I'm not going to register you. Of course, we do need to have payment prior to the class starting, but our goal is to get as many people in the training that want to come. I kind of went over what's covered, but again, you get the full curriculum, you get a hotkey guide. So we give you a couple hotkey guides. The quick hotkeys, like here's the hotkey to do this in ZoomText, but we also give you a troubleshooting hotkey guide as well. You get the certificate of completion, polo shirt, the training bag, other fun giveaways, lunch for 2 days. And then I'm so excited. I worked really hard on this, you guys. A lot of people came to me and said, hey, my profession that I'm in requires that I get CEUs. Do you guys have CEUs available? And we did not have that the first half of the year. So we just got that. We just got sanctioned for CEUs. So for an additional $25, you can get 1.2 CEUs, and that's through an actual college that does that. So you do pay us, but we just pay that $25 right out to them, and then you'll get CEUs. And if you have questions about what that CEU covers and stuff, contact me separately, and I can let you know what it covers. It's basically a general type of CEU, and some of you have to take that to a board to make sure that it's sanctioned, but we can give you the course outline and all the things you need because it's done very professionally through a college that we're accredited through that.
Okay, I think before we go on to the certification program, it looks like Tiffany still hasn't entered in her audio pin, so maybe we'll see at the end of the webinar if she's done that. Kimberly, was there anything else you wanted to mention about ZoomText University? I know you mentioned something about cancellation policies and things that I don't think are covered in the slides. Do you want to just comment on that real quick?
Yeah, I'd be glad to do that. So if you guys do sign up, we do have, of course, a cancellation policy, just like any program would, and it is fully outlined, but basically 30 days or more prior, you will see a full refund. So if you sign up and 30 days prior, you cancel, we do give you a full refund. Between 15 and 30 days, you'll get a 75% refund, and then anybody that cancels less than 15 days prior receive no refund. But here's how we handle that. If you want to apply that to another training at a later location, or we had a gentleman in Oregon actually that canceled, and now that I'm going back to Oregon, he's filling that. So we want to work with you. It's just, once I send out that training curriculum or we've sent all the training materials, we have to be able to try to recoup those costs. So that is how the cancellation policy reads on our website, and when you do register, you do get a confirmation notice that also reiterates all of that as well. I know there's going to be a slide at the end, but I'll just throw this in really quickly. If you do decide today, wow, I'm really excited, I want to register for ZoomText University, I'm running a special for anyone that listened to this webinar all the way through August 15th. If you register, you need to do this directly through me because I have to put in a promo code. You would get $50 off the training. So that's something that we're running today through August 15th.
And it looks like Kimberly Tiffany did get her phone working here, so I'll go ahead and unmute her. And Tiffany, feel free to go ahead and speak to the group and let us know what you thought about the ZoomText University training.
Well, first of all, I apologize for the technical difficulty. But yeah, I really appreciated both the trainers. We had Savannah and Kimberly was there as a filter person to help those. We really had a diverse group from a couple of people who were pretty much beginners to advanced users. And I just love the fact of how custom-made the training was. I mean, they really worked with everyone on everyone's level. And those who didn't know really caught on quickly, and by the end of the the session, it was really a great interaction between everyone and the trainers. I really like the fact that they really go over all the products, and you really have time to ask questions and get your hands on the different things, the scanners, the reader, having a chance to look at ZoomText for the Mac, just the diversity of everything that ZoomText has to offer. And I enjoyed also assisting, as Kimberly stated, I use ZoomText at American River College here in Sacramento, and so it was fun to be able to help assist folks who were struggling a little bit, and as well as interact with the more advanced users as well.
Great. Thank you, Tiffany. Excellent feedback there. Kimberly, anything you want to comment about that?
No, I mean, you heard from two great people, and this is just, people coming in, and I know Andrea shared with me coming. She was like a little nervous, like, well, I don't know if this is for me. So you're hearing that they really enjoyed it, but it's just, there's just so much good things that come from it. I've had friendships happen, and, people be able to help people in different areas, and it's a great opportunity to come. So if you have questions or anything, feel free to contact us back. I'm so thrilled to have it launch. It's been very successful, and we just want to continue to have it grow and even get more action-packed and fun-filled. So I want to leave you some time, Derek, so take it away.
Excellent. Thanks, Kimberly. I noticed a couple of people have their hands up. We're going to save those questions for the end. I just want to make sure we get through everything here in the allotted time, and then we can answer your questions at the end. So if you have anything that you're thinking of right now that you don't want to forget, type in your question into the questions panel, and we'll pick it. Becca can answer it now for you, or we'll unmute you at the end, and you can ask it to the group. So you heard about ZoomText University, our live training offerings that we have. Now we're going to talk about a brand new program that we have launched, which is the ZoomText Certification Program. And what this is an online exam available for anyone who wishes to test either their ZoomText or their product knowledge on all of our products. This exam does not mean that you are considered a certified trainer of the product. All it means is that we certify your knowledge, you know how to use the program and all of its features. Similar to any other certification you would find out there in the technology industry. And basically, once you pass the exam, you get both a digital and print certificate that acknowledges your level of certification. There's two levels of certification that are available. One is called ZoomText Essentials, and effectively this focuses on the ZoomText for Windows product. So it's going to go through all of the magnification and speech features of ZoomText 10.0 on the PC. It's a 100-question, multiple choice, and true-false exam. You have 3 hours to take it. It's all done online through a website. You have to finish it in one sitting. You can't stop and come back to it later. Just like any other exam, you have an allotted time to finish it. The professional certification not only focuses on the PC product, but all of our accessory products and ZoomText Mac and Image Reader. This exam is targeted for people that are industry professionals or are already trainers or even resellers of our product. So you have ZoomText PC, ZoomText Mac, Image Reader, ZoomText Camera is also covered as well. So all the accessory products are handled there also. That exam is 150 questions. You have 4 hours to complete it. Again, it's multiple choice and true-false questions. These are randomized exams. So if you take it a second time, you may or may not get the same group of questions. So every exam will be unique. As far as pricing goes, we're running an introductory offer until the end of August. The Essentials exam, which is normally priced at $99, is available for $49, and the professional level exam, which is normally priced at $149, is available for $99. Certification, you're certified for the current ZoomText version. Okay, so that would be ZoomText 10.0. If you fail the exam, there's a $25 fee to retake the test. You can do that as many times as you like. Upon completion of the exam, you'll immediately be emailed your results, your score basically, and then you'll also be sent a list of the questions that you got wrong. So you'll be able to see what questions you did not answer correctly. So $25 to retake it in the event that you don't pass. You need an 85% or higher to pass the Essentials exam and a 90% or higher to pass the professional exam. When we come out with new product versions, we will also have you retake the certification exam for that new product version. And if you're already certified, it's just $25 to take the certification exam for new versions. We probably won't do that unless we have a major product release, like a ZoomText 11. We do have ZoomText 10.1 for Windows 8 coming out shortly, although I think that piece of it will be very minimal, so we may, for those that are already certified, we may just allow them to continue their certification for that product as well. But that's how we'll handle it. Again, $25 to retest or for new versions. Okay. And I think that's basically all I want to say about the certification exam. You will get, again, digital and print certificate. So you can use that digital certificate on your email signature, or if you wanted to use it on any type of business documents that you want to print out, you can use that there as well. Effectively, this is something that you can show the outside world that certifies your knowledge of the product. You can put it on your resume if you're looking for employment in the industry. And working with software like ZoomText is a great thing to put on your resume. So, and all of the information for the tests you can find on our website. If you go to AI2 and click on the Learning tab, and then click on where it says Certification on the left-hand side, there's an FAQ section. We show you what topics are covered in each exam. Basically, all of the answers you can find in the user guide for the products. Find it in the user guide. You can find it in the software itself in the help system, or by listening to one of our webinars. So if you've done your homework, you have the user guide, you listen to our webinars, you've used the software, pretty much you should be able to pass the exams no problem. They are not like the SATs. There's not going to be, a lot of questions in there that are going to be intentionally tricky with, what you think would be multiple potential correct answers. So, again, if you know where to find the information, it should be very easy for you to pass these exams, especially if you use the product at home on your own. Okay, so that's the certification program. Again, we've got that introductory offer good until August 30th, Friday, August 30th. All right, now another offering that we have, and maybe I should mention as well, We've reorganized our website a little bit, so now you'll notice that there is a Learning tab across the top navigation. So you're going to find all of our training offerings listed there, from ZoomText University to our webinars and the certification program. So you're going to find all this information on our website. So our free webinars that we do, some people might be confused with what the term is. What is a webinar? Basically what it is an online presentation. We cover new products that we've released. We do how-to demonstrations of ZoomText using certain features, things like ZoomText Camera, and we also cover tips and tricks and other content. We were doing weekly webinars, introductory webinars to ZoomText, and a webinar on the new features in ZoomText 10. A lot of people travel during the summer, both us here for trade shows and vacation, and other folks. So we found that for the summer, we wanted to kind of get away from the weekly webinars and do a couple webinars every month that were special topics like the one we're doing here. All the webinars are live demonstration along with Q&A at the end for group participation. And when we do demonstrate products like ZoomText, you will see it magnifying on the other end, on my screen. We have a dedicated setup that allows us to present that to you. Now, all of our online webinars are free. There's no price to this, and you can view our upcoming webinar schedule by going to ai2 and clicking on free online webinars. All you do is click on the one that you want, and it'll show you the date and time, and you enter in your name and email address to register. Keep in mind that all of the times given are in the Eastern time zone. We're located in Vermont, which is in the Northeast, so please keep that in mind. I've had a number of people that get confused with time zones. When you register, I believe it will send you the email with the time listed in your time zone. So just keep that in mind. They are listed on the website, but please be mindful of time zones if you're not on the East Coast. And if you miss a session, don't worry if you can't make a session. All of our content's archived online, either on our YouTube channel or on our website. And you can view any of the previously recorded webinars by going to ai2 and then clicking on free online webinars, and then there's a link underneath that that says recorded content. We've got quite a few videos there. I don't even know how many we have, probably 30? At least 30 videos up there, so on different topics we've covered, as well as the weekly webinars that we do as well. So if you missed any, you want to check them out, they will be posted there. We'll also be posting today's webinar on there also. Kimberly mentioned this a little bit earlier. I'll just reiterate it to everyone. So if you register for a training class by August 15th, you'll get $50 off of the registration. Normal price is $3.99 for the 2-day training. If you're interested in that, please email Kimberly. Her email address is kklein@ai2 So running a promotion for that as well. Now I think we're at the question and answer part of our webinar, and we've also got my contact information and Kimberly's contact information on there. I think now might be a good time to raffle off our free certification program. So if you just want to pick a name out of there, just pick a random name on that list.
Pick a random number.
Pick a random person. And let me know who won so we can tell the group.
Okay.
Drum roll.
It is person number 25 from the top. Go on.
Juror number 25.
Oh my goodness. Hold on.
Still counting. Well, while Becca is counting, I noticed one question that came in. Someone asked if they take the certification exam and there's basically how much feedback is given for correct and incorrect answers. So since we don't want people to be able to write down all the answers and share them with other folks, all you're going to get for feedback is your score and the incorrect answers. So it'll show you your score and then a list of the questions that you got wrong and what you chose. It won't tell you what the correct answer is. That is intentional. So if you pass the exam and you wanted to see your full results, we can surely send that to you. But for those that don't pass the exam, we don't want to, give them all of the information and make it too easy for someone to pass the test. This really isn't that difficult. I don't think people, if you've used ZoomText and you know where to find the information, and you have the user guide, you know how to access the ZoomText help system, and you've participated in our webinars, it should be very easy for you to pass the exam in the allotted time.
From Sarah Scrow.
So Sarah Scrow, you have won our free certification test. I'll send you an email after the webinar, and you can let me know if you have any questions on it. Feel free to tell me which one you want to take, either the Essentials or the Professional one. Completely up to you. So congratulations, Sarah. All right.
Hey.
That's had their hand up. Sonia, it looked like you've had your hand up for quite a while, so I'll go ahead and unmute you. Sonia, did you have questions for us here today? And if we can't hear you on our end, it's possible that your mic is not set up correctly. I do have you unmuted, but if we can't hear you, just feel free to type your question into the chat panel or the questions panel. We'll pick it up there. Let's see, there are a few other questions that came in. Kimberly, someone asked about a training class which is near them. They said they're in the Missouri area, Chesterfield, St. Louis.
I sent her that.
Okay, okay.
She'll follow up.
Great.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow up via email. I have their email address. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Any other questions for us here
today? And that person
today?
can directly call me as well.
I know we went over a lot of stuff here. Again, over the past year, Kimberly and myself have really tried to branch out our training opportunities. I mean, those of you that are familiar with AI Squared and have been customers of ours for a while know that we have very rarely done live training opportunities or anything like this. So this is really brand new for us, and we hope you're all as excited about it as we are. Getting a chance to meet a lot of you people that use our product, face-to-face is always exciting for us, and I'm really happy that we can kind of get out there and help people understand better how to use ZoomText, and but also let you guys get to meet us and do things like that. So it's really a lot of fun for us as well.
I just want to bring up, if you were looking at doing the certification test and you're thinking, wow, you might struggle with taking it, if you do take the 2-day training, we're not saying that the class is there to prepare you for that, but I've had some people that take the 2-day training take the test and tell me, oh my goodness, I'm so glad that I took your 2-day training class because it just made me so much more prepared to take the certification test. So we did one kind of works with the other, and if you're thinking about that. Another thing I just wanted to bring up in regards to training is we do offer, I had a company contact me the other day and want to do a closed training, and what that means is they called me and said, hey, we have 7 people just in our company, and we want you to do a training just for our company. Will you do that? So yes, we do offer those types of trainings as well. They wanted a very specific technical type of training, and the great thing about that is because we have about 5 to 6 trainers, I can pick specific trainers that really can do that. Like Derek happens to be going up and doing that particular training for that organization. So those are some things we offer as well.
All right. Any other questions for us here today? Anybody else have any other questions they'd like to ask? And just to mention, too, if you think of something afterwards, I know you've got our contact information here if you have questions, but you can also email learning@aisquared.com, and that will go to the webinar staff, and we can answer any other questions you might have, whether it's on the ZoomText University offerings, our certification program, or our webinars.
Well, since we have a group of people on, I just want to mention we're going to be launching another program either the end of this year or the beginning of next year, and it's our mentor program. And I don't have all the details worked out, but think of, if you guys live in a big area to where maybe you have a Sam's Club or something like that where you have a card to become a member of that. It'll be similar to that. It'll be people that really just want to support AI Squared. They want to support our family of products and be a little more involved than just being a user. So I'm putting together a program for that. I'm sure it's going to be exciting. We will, there'll be different parts of it. Some people say, well, I want to be a little more involved with the beta process. I want to be, if you're going to be doing a training in my area, I'd like to come out and maybe be part of that or help with that. So we'll be able to offer you some discounts on things that we're doing, but we'll ask you to be a little bit more involved maybe in some things as well. So it will be our mentor program, and if you do have some type of interest in that, I already have a list of people that already told me they want to be mentors. My goal is to have mentors in all 50 states and everywhere that we have products. And it's just a person that wants to do a little bit more than just be an end user. They want to maybe, I could say, hey, I just found out there's an event going on in your area. Could you, make this contact for me, et cetera, et cetera. And for that, again, I don't have all the details. I'll be going down to AI Squared because I don't physically live in Vermont. I live in Las Vegas in September to work with Derek and Becca and some other folks to get more details. My goal would be to have some T-shirts made for the Mentor Club and just to give you some perks and some things to make you be more involved with the family of products of AI Squared. So if it's something you have an interest in, please either call me or email me, and I can add your name to the list. So as I make more progress with that program, I'll be sure to include you.
We had
Our
one
whole
question
goal is to just be a little bit more out in the community. Sorry.
That's okay. We had a question come in. Someone asked if the training covers scripting. It does not cover scripting. Writing scripts and programming and things like that is extremely technical, so our ability to find and have people train that would be extremely difficult, and the price of that training class would be, I think, a lot more than what we're charging right now. So scripting at this time is something that is not covered.
Yeah, great question. I mean, if we have specific classes and we had enough people that really wanted that, we'd need to probably send Derek or Scott or something. We'd have to base a curriculum around that and look at the need and then come up with a price and see if the people were still interested.
All right. Any other questions for us here today before we end the webinar? And again, thank you guys for attending. Hopefully, we gave you quite a bit of information here, and you're excited about some of these offerings. And hopefully some of the live trainings are close to where some of you folks are. If you're interested in attending, please reach out to Kimberly. And if you have any questions on the certification program, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be glad to answer any other questions that you might have.
Yes, again, thank you so much. You guys, our whole goal is to get out in the community and just be part of it, find out what you guys like, what you want to see in the future from AI Squared, and we're just here and wanting to be more involved. So keep us posted, and if you have ideas or questions or concerns, please reach out to myself or Derek.
All right. Well, it doesn't look like there's any more questions, so I'm going to go ahead and end the webinar for today. Again, thank you guys, and we hope you have a great rest of the day.